Hello, outsiders. It's February 12th, the week of love. And JABO's here to spread the love. Keisha, how's it going? Ha ha!
I had to mute the phone. I'll be honest with you, man. The first couple of words, I was like, what the hell is he doing? But when you got the week of love, I just had to holler. Oh, man. Man, you stay. My premium slice, man, I'm telling you. Funny. I'm sorry, outsiders. What's going on? I was not prepared for that one. Mark's got to prepare me sometimes.
I gotta spring stuff on you all the time. Come on.
Oh, man. It was like the closest thing to a Barry White that you'd ever...
The whitest Barry White.
The whitest Barry White. How about it? I love it. I love it. Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Like you said, it's the weekend of love. And we always end the show with spreading love. So, we're always about love here at Just a Bit Outside because we know that it's chaotic times, it's a crazy world out there, but we still have so much love to give because we have each other. And we're all here together tonight. So let's talk about sports and some other things as well. And in honor of the weekend of love, I figured, Mark, the way that we could do it this show is we could just spit out a couple of topics and we can talk about what we love and what we hate about said topics.
All right.
All right, let's do it. Let's start. Might as well start with the Super Bowl. Let's get this out of the way. Dude, Super Bowl. Man, it was, I think I can say that the Super Bowl was the biggest shock of the weekend. 40-22 victory, Eagles over Kansas City Chiefs, stopping the three-peat. Mark, loving or hating it?
I can't tell you. We used to get Super Bowls that were blowouts all the time. People complain about it. I don't know of a game that I loved more than that. I may have even loved it more than the Ravens win, to be honest.
That's a bold statement right there.
You love to see the villain lose and just get destroyed. What's not to hate about? What's not to love about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I might have even said Sunday night, like I picked Kansas City to win last week, and I have never been so happy to be wrong in my life. I mean, with every passing quarter, and I gotta admit, at halftime it was like 24-0. They were still kind of in reach. I mean, we've seen those kind of comebacks.
Oh yeah.
Before. And going into the third, I was just, first couple of minutes, I was like, man, they can still do it. I'm not going to get my hopes up. But by midway through I would say probably about, 5 or 6 minutes into the third quarter, I was like, oh, this thing is, they're just, I don't know, man, it was just unbelievable. I mean, a beat down. I mean, how many sacks? It was like 5 or 6 sacks.
500 or 600.
Yeah, man, and it was so funny because, I was, hanging out with my parents before the game and during the game, and, scrolling on my social medias, just seeing what was simmering before the big game, and I came across this post, and I see Patrick Mahomes walking into the Superdome before the game, and did you see this? Did you see what he wore before the game?
Who?
Patrick Mahomes.
I don't think I did actually.
It was a freaking green suit, yo.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It was a green suit. He walked into the Super Bowl in a green suit, and I swear to God, I told my parents, I was like, this dude walked into the building with the Eagles colors on, I was like, "Oh my goodness!" He better hope the Philadelphia Eagles do not get wind of this. And I have to say, in my heart of hearts, I feel like somebody might have sent that little picture, that whatever post they can find to the Eagles players, because they beat the brakes off of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
I mean, they really did.
That's when you're just believing your own hype too much. That's asking for it, and
that itself was a bold move. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody do that.
Yeah.
I mean, with the other team's colors,
That's man.
I was shocked. But I too, I absolutely loved watching the Philadelphia Eagles win. I loved watching them burn the city down afterwards up there in Philly. It was pleasantly terrifying, and I have my own opinion about Philly fans, but I'm just happy that they were able to, like you said, take down the evil giant, and a lot of people across the country rejoiced in that victory. Not just Philadelphia. A lot of Ravens fans included. So, Jalen Hurts for MVP. Love it, hate it.
Oh, I love it. Like,
I think you called it before they even said it offline.
Well, yeah, I think he was the most logical choice, unless you wanted to give it to a defensive player or the whole damn defense.
Yeah, right. I feel like you couldn't just give it to one defensive player. You would have to give it to the whole team, because it was just everything. I mean, they were clicking on all cylinders. Who would have thought that through 3 quarters in the Super Bowl, the first 3 quarters, the Chiefs would only have 6 points, dude.
Right.
I mean, and I think at like one point, the Chiefs' total yards, like I think Jalen Hurts had more yards than the Chiefs' total offense. I mean, it was just really shocking. Really shocking. All right, one more. Let's throw out another one. Saquon Barkley's been a pretty big deal all season, postseason, everything. Big yards, big dog, the premier running back of the league. I can say that.
Yeah.
I can say that. Even I love Derek. I mean, I don't love him, but loving or hating him not scoring a touchdown, dude.
I mean, you already know the answer to that just because of our texts.
They don't know.
They stole my damn money. I had some money on that one. Him anytime scoring, but I was watching the sports shows this week, and I forget what show it was or who said it, but it stuck with me. Someone told the Eagles that they had to stop Saquon Barkley, but they didn't understand, or the Chiefs, that they had to stop Saquon Barkley, but they didn't understand that wasn't the only thing they had to do.
Right, because that is about the only thing they did all night long.
Right. I mean, and really, like, that was the Eagles adjusting and, doing what they needed to through the passing game.
Yeah. I mean, fantastic. A very efficient play from Jalen Hurts. Like you said, well-deserved MVP. I mean, leading rusher on the team. 11 carries, 72 yards. Like, it's almost like, are we sure we got the right name here for that stat? For that stat line. 1 rushing touchdown, 2 passing touchdowns. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I sent you and Jaina the Nike ad that came out that day.
Yeah.
But I love that ad. A couple years ago, it seemed like everyone was already ready to call Jalen Hurts a bust, and I think he definitely got the last laugh on that.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. A couple of years, like 2 years ago.
Yep.
Fickle fans, man. Never know what the hell they're talking about. All right, the show within the show, the halftime show. Kendrick Lamar SZA, Uncle Sam Jackson. It's like Uncle Sam, everybody's uncle. Samuel L. Serena. Uh, been seeing a lot of mixed reviews, a lot of interpretations and everything on social media. Halftime show. Mark, love it or hate it?
Oh, I loved it. Like,
Yeah.
I maybe controversial. I don't know. Um, I won't say it's the best one,
No.
just because I have my preferences or whatever. But it's definitely up there. Top 10 at least. Definitely top 5 probably.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say it might not have been the like you said best Super Bowl show of all time. Because honestly, like I will never forget like when Michael Jackson performed at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And like, it was so insane. Like for Michael Jackson to be out there, like he just walked out on stage. I don't know if you remember this, but he just stood there for like 30 seconds and watched everybody just lose their shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
People passing out, crying. I think somebody, it was just, insane.
Yeah.
Like the magnitude of having Michael Jackson at the Super Bowl was just that was like to me, like one of the greatest shows of all time. But the show with the greatest message, yeah,
Oh.
sure.
Multi layers of messages.
Yeah, will we ever see anything like that in our lifetime again? I don't think so.
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, there's also been a lot of speculation because, Jay-Z, with his position with the entertainment in the NFL is, I believe, coming to a close because it was a 5-year contract. And I believe that this was his last year. So, there's been a lot of speculation whether that will be renewed.
Well, whether you like the halftime show or you don't or whatever, it is the most watched Super Bowl halftime show of all time. So
Is it really?
yeah, so I think the NFL is definitely going to take that into consideration whether they re-sign Jay-Z or not. Yeah.
Wow. I think I did see something. Was it like 133 million?
Something like that. Yeah.
Good God Almighty! Wow. Wow.
A lot of eyes.
Has anybody checked on Drake?
I saw a meme where it had him working at Sonic now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I also loved the Super Bowl show as well, and I always love a show. And we've said this about a few Super Bowl shows in our time together, Mark. A show that when we go back and watch it, like multiple times, we find something new every time.
Yeah.
I think we said that about the Dr. Dre joint, and
Yep.
There's definitely, I went back and watched 3 times after initial viewing, and it was just something that I picked up with, or something that made me. I looked at something from a different angle, just a different perspective every time, and none of us is Kendrick Lamar, but just to hear all of the debate and all the talk afterwards about everybody, the different individual perspectives and takeaways and meanings and symbolisms, is just that's how you have given an ultimate performance.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, even before a bar dropped, like it was obvious with Sam Jackson as Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
You knew you were in for a ride.
Yeah. Yeah. Then the whole, I mean, you're a gamer, and I know you appreciate the whole PlayStation, like, joystick thing. I mean, that was just...
Yeah.
Oh, man. Like, let the games begin.
Can,
Man, it was nuts. It was nuts. Really enjoyed it.
I do have to pat myself on the back, though. Take the W. Because I will fully admit, like, I'm not the biggest Kendrick fan. I'm not a hater or anything. Just, I haven't listened to as much of his music as others. But I was rocking it like all day today in my ear. Um, I if you go back to earlier in the season when after he'd been announced, we kind of like debated what would be on the set list,
Yeah.
and there was one song that I said they're gonna do it. And just like every Super Bowl, like they don't do the whole song, but they did a few bars from All the Stars.
Yes, yes, yes. Love that, man. Really did love that. Looks like we got a couple comments on the feed. Hey, what's going on, Jaina? She loved the halftime show. She said Drake's still crying in his bathtub. That's pretty funny. But yeah, man, really loved the show. Really loved the game. It was just a lot to love. Even with the display of New Orleans culture at the beginning of the game, before the game started, John Baptiste, Lettucey, I mean, everything was just so awesome. Harry Connick Jr., whoa, I mean, like, I was kind of
Yeah,
surprised to see him. And, I mean, it was just real New Orleans flavor. And, that's what you want to do when you host a Super Bowl. You want to give the viewers, people who have never been to your city, you want to give them a little taste of what your culture is like, what your life is like, and I think that they nailed it
oh for sure.
with that. I mean, even with the marching bands, and we know how big the bands are down south, and I think they also accomplished the goal of, if you have never been there and you were watching this game, you were watching this pregame show. If you didn't have interest before, you had interest after.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of aspects of the broadcast in general were just like New Orleans centric too, which is kind of cool. I remember
Yeah,
when they first went to the actual game broadcast off to all the pre-show, because there's like 18 hours of pre-show. But you got Brady and Kevin, what's his name there, and they're in their booth in the stadium. You know that, like always, and there's
yeah,
a green screen behind them, and that green screen is of a street in the French Quarter. So
yeah,
like they're supposed to be on the streets of New Orleans. It's kind of cool.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I really did I liked all of it. I mean, I have to really tip my hat to New Orleans. I was a little, not that I was, expecting anything bad, but I mean, they were the first city to deal with tragedy in 2025,
Yeah,
right? And I was just really wondering how they were going to handle it all.
yeah,
Because I mean, it was not that long ago, and I think they just, I mean, the solidarity, the recognizing the victims as well as the heroes. I mean, just from beginning to end, I really have to tip my hat off to the city of New Orleans. They did a fantastic job, and they went above my expectations. I can say that. Love, 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 city of New Orleans.
yeah. The NFL really knew how to honor the city there.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Um, let's move off of football and
Well,
move on. What? Go ahead.
I got one more hate I want to drop.
Oh, you have hate? Okay,
Yeah,
let's
I
do
got to
some
hate.
hate. Okay.
You know, the Chiefs, they lose. The fans are so used to winning, and they expected this three-peat that they got their panties in a bunch and did something horrible.
Oh wow, I didn't hear this.
Yeah, the Eagles. C.J. Gardner Johnson. His mom's got a little restaurant down there in Florida, King's Grill, and a whole bunch of Chiefs fans and I guess
Oh
Swifties
no.
too. They
Oh
went
no.
on Google reviews and just like totally bombed the place with 1-star reviews just to bring it down. That's messing with someone's livelihood, man. Hats off to Google. They disabled reviews, took off all the bad ones because it was getting like
Are
hundreds
you
of.
serious?
Yeah,
How pathetic do you have to be? Like, people have too much time on their hands.
right.
Too much time on it to write a fake review just because you don't like someone that is affiliated with a winning football team?
Right. That's so pathetic.
You gotta do better, you guys. You gotta do better. And you said, so I'm sorry, I kind of interrupted you a little bit, but you said Google got in there and straightened things out.
Yeah, they disabled reviews so no one could review it, and they took off like all the new reviews because they knew it was all BS. I had seen a post online where someone was rallying people to leave positive reviews just to, like, even it out.
Even out,
Yeah.
give a more accurate depiction of what's really going on out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Nuts. And you know what I forgot to mention one more thing, and I think it's an important thing. After the game, of course, there's been a lot of speculation towards the end of the season, but it's like decision-making time for Travis Kelce. Are you going to play? Are you going to retire? He said he's going to take some time to think about it. If it was me, if I was him, I'd be looking at my brother living his best life, and it would look very attractive. Retirement would look very attractive to me. But, I don't know. He could have had one thing in his mind, but after suffering an epic beatdown, that can change things too.
Yeah.
Because you kind of don't want to go out on that note. He did not have he didn't have a fantastic game. He didn't have a bad game, but he didn't have a fantastic game. And they got the Jesus beat out of him. Mark, love it or hate it, Travis Kelce coming back for one more season.
I love it. He's a damn good player, whether you like him or not, whether you like the Chiefs or not. And the whole Chiefs squad had a bad game. I don't think he's washed or anything. I think he can come back.
Okay. Respectable answer. I'd love to see him come back just so Ravens can whip that ass, man. Or just to see him take another ass whipping, because I think that window of opportunity with the Kansas City Chiefs is closed.
Yeah.
We've talked about that too. And he kind of had a downtick as far as production this season, and it's kind of like he's at that point where it's just a little bit less and less every year. And I got to tell you, I really enjoyed watching him. He just looked stupefied on the sidelines. He was in I don't know, an alternate universe or something. He didn't even believe what was happening as he was playing the damn game. It was. I would love for him to come back another year just to have the possibility of seeing that. Honestly, it's just great. Because he's just, to me, it's just like certain, he's like one of those Kansas City Chiefs players that's just been so smug and kind of on my nerves a little bit. So it's just, and Patrick Mahomes is another one.
And he always gets those impossible catches. It's like, how could you do this to us?
Yeah. So, if there's a possibility that the Ravens inflicting this kind of pain and emotion on them, bring them back.
Yeah. Harry's got a comment about the halftime show, and
sure.
I did want to hit this because he has an interesting thing in there that I wonder if you know the trivia on this too.
Okay.
He says halftime show had so much depth. Trump and MAGA were pissed. The NFL basically paid Kendrick Lamar to do a 13-minute protest. I love it. Now, I do want to ask you something because I actually thought a lot of people more knew this than didn't. But every year it's like a thing online. People talk about it. Do you know how much the NFL paid Kendrick Lamar to do the halftime show?
They don't get paid to do the halftime show.
They don't get paid to do the halftime show.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was explaining that to somebody today because I said, Kendrick did this out of the kindness of this was Monday. I was explaining it to somebody on Monday. I was like, Kendrick Lamar did this out of the kindness of his heart. And, And Stephanie's just like, what? What did you just say? I'm like, oh yeah, he just, he just did this for fun. She's like, no, I'm sure he got paid. I'm just like,
No.
I'm like, Stephanie, this is a known fact. Please look it up. No one gets paid to do the Super Bowl.
Right.
And let me explain something to you, outsiders, because I'm pretty sure there's some of you out there that are like, well, what the hell did he do it for? Okay. One, it's one of the biggest honors that you can get as an entertainer.
Yep.
Okay? Two, it does have monetary value.
Yep.
Trust and believe. And this is what I mean by monetary value, Mark. Okay. Kendrick Lamar's currently on tour right now. He's got the thing going with SZA. Tickets went on sale probably about 3 or 4 months ago. Big frenzy. Things sold out all over the place. Right now, the only way you get a ticket probably is through resale or third party, something like that, right?
Yeah.
June 18th, he will be in D.C. and/or if you want to call it Landover, but they're saying it's the D.C. show. I have me and my friends, my girlfriends, we all bought tickets to go to this show. Okay. We had a plan. We were talking, and you know how it is with friends. Sometimes you hem and you haw, and then you bullshit around. Then all of a sudden, it's like there's a sense of urgency. Okay.
Yeah.
My girlfriend bought everybody's tickets without even telling anybody right before the halftime show.
No
okay?
shit.
Listen to this shit, man. This is no bullshit. Okay. We are in section 137. Pretty decent seats, $357. Okay? Right before the halftime show. I have the text message and everything. This is no lie, you guys. Okay? Halftime show goes down. The very next day, I'm talking to my girlfriends. We're like, oh my God. Well, everybody's going off about how great the show is. Oh, we can't wait to go to the show. And I said, you know what? Let me check and see, just for shits and giggles, how much these tickets are in our section right now. This is not even 24 hours after the Super Bowl. Tickets were $587.
Wow.
Okay. Now that is just for one section and one show in one city. Okay? So, the market value, your own personal, your worth, like, damn near doubles, I'm not just talking about concerts. I'm talking about streams. I'm talking about, album purchases, whatever, anything that has to do with you, merchandise, you don't get paid, but you still get paid is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah. And Harry just dropped another comment that was exactly where I was going. The NFL didn't pay him with money, but he got free advertising because his GNX album with his new label just went platinum, and he got 30 million in sales since the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's the biggest television audience of the year every single year, and those album purchases, streams, whatever it is, they go wild right after.
Yeah, my man. Well, we are more often on the same page than I, Harry. So, my man, definitely, big to do. Hell yeah. So can we move on to basketball now?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, let's do WNBA first, because there were a lot of free agency moves, and we did not get a chance to. It was like simultaneous clash between the WNBA and the NBA. But we really didn't get a chance to touch on the WNBA at all. And, there were a few that, there were so many outsiders. We're not going to be able to talk about all of them. But there are a few that I would like to talk about. Harry, I know you're listening, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on some of these things. We're going to keep the love-hate thing going here, okay? First things first. The biggest thing, to me, the biggest, most jaw-dropping thing of the whole free agency was the dismantling of the Las Vegas Aces. Mark, love it or hate it. And outsiders, feel free to chime in as well.
Oh, man. I'm just gonna say I hate it because we got a personal connection over there.
Yes, yes, I hate it as well. Totally hate it. Every piece that was chipped away, I just could not. It was like a piece of me was just like, oh my god, every time. And a lot of people were shocked about Kelsey Plum and everything. But you know what? I was my biggest shock.
Huh?
Biggest shock for me. Sydney Colson.
Where'd she go?
She went with she joined up with Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, it's just like over these past couple of years, what have we grown to love, and it's just like been so normal with us. Aja and Sydney, like them cutting up on the sidelines, all the social media fun. I mean, it's just like I just could not believe it. It was like the Batman and Robin of the. Maybe I should. I can't think of two women right now. Oh, I don't know. Thelma and Louise. Oh, fuck it. I don't know. But they were like the dynamic duo of the WNBA to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I was really upset about that, man. Supersized upset. But all right, I digress. Let's go and talk about some of these other. I guess shockers of trades. Okay, Mark, Brittany Griner.
Man, I knew you were gonna go there.
To the Atlanta Dream. Love it or hate it.
I mean, I hate that she left Phoenix because Phoenix is my squad.
I know. That's why I had to be the first one for me.
But you look at who the Atlanta Dream picked up.
Yeah.
Dude, they're in the finals already.
Yeah. I really love their projected starting lineup right now is Ryan Howard, who is amazing. We all know about Alicia Gray, Jordan Canada, Brittany Griner, and Brianna Jones. Picking up Brittany Griner and Brianna Jones, and then also Shatori Walker Kimbrough from the Washington Mystics, who will be coming off of the bench. They're stacked. Like, I gotta agree with you, Mark. They are so stacked.
Yeah.
So stacked. I mean, you've got a nice mix between younger players and older players, with experience and everything. I mean, it's great. It's great. Now, you have Howard and Gray, which are like, they're not the top scoring leaders, but they're up there in the WNBA. And you add, the defense of Brittany Griner. I mean, it's a very nice recipe. I really did like that. That one, I hated to. I'm gonna say that. This is like a 50-50 for me because I hated it in the beginning. So I'm like, oh man, she was supposed to retire with the Mercury.
Yes.
But then when you, I know, man, I know. But then when you swish it around in your mouth, and you get all the elements and all the flavors, you say, okay, I hate it, but it's delicious. That's the best way that I could put it. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, best way I could put it. Okay, let's move on. Like I said, I want to talk about. I just mentioned the Indiana Fever. I also think that they benefited from some amazing moves in the free agency. Okay. The Indiana Fever, they did not have a great season. Caitlin Clark had her first season in the WNBA, and we all knew that the Indiana Fever was going to build a team around her. Okay, and when we say build a team around her, I'm not talking about the squad that they had last season. All right, they brought her here, and then we all knew that they were going to eventually make moves to enhance her presence on the Indiana Fever, and they did just that. Notable additions: Dewana Bonner, free agency, got it from Connecticut Sun. If you guys don't know, she is a baller. Okay, she had a fantastic season with the Connecticut Sun last season. You got they also picked up, like I said, Sydney Colson. Okay, from the Las Vegas Aces, and they also picked up Natasha Howard from Dallas. So, the Fever, like I said, they had a pretty decent season. They were 20-20, and they had a fairly young, inexperienced team. And I feel like, with Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, you've got some more. You got some more experience there coming from Bonner and Colson, and again, like with the Atlanta Dream, you got a good mix there. I'm definitely expecting the Indiana Fever to improve on that 20-20 record.
Yeah.
And also, another thing also is that, the Indiana Fever was known for their score, and they did kind of a lot of running and gunning, and they weren't necessarily known for having great defense. I think, these new additions will also help on the defensive front and make the Indiana Fever a more even team on both sides of the ball. So I really think that they did really well. All right. I think this was also another big shocker. I think this might be the second biggest shocker after Brittany Griner leaving the Mercury. Kelsey Plum going from the Aces to the LA Sparks.
Welcome to La La Land.
Yeah. And, we know how well Kelsey Plum played in the Olympics this past summer. She's very hot right now. I was also shocked. She was very instrumental in all postseasons recently, last 3 postseasons with the Las Vegas Aces. She now joins Cameron Brink and Rakia Jackson, Odyssey Sims. That is I think that's a major pickup for the LA Sparks. A lot of people are saying that, they might have been, one of the biggest winners of the free agency this year.
Yeah.
And they hadn't made a ton of moves in the past couple of seasons. They kind of fell off since the days of the glory days of Lisa Leslie, Candace Parker, and whatnot, and picking up Cameron Brink was the beginning, and now having Kelsey Plum, I think that will boost and help them out as well, and will bring lots of good things in the upcoming season for LA. I'm telling you, Sparks as well as the Lakers, they made some major splashes all in the same week. It's very rare. Very, very rare, man. Very rare. So, these are all trades. And, the biggest, and I'm going to tell you, in regards to the WNBA free agency moves, love or hate it, overall, I loved it.
Yeah.
And can I tell you why I loved it? And outsiders, feel free to chime in on this as well. Over the past couple of seasons, yes, the popularity has steadily grown in the WNBA, but I felt like there was a major disparity amongst the teams. You had 2 or 3 really great teams and then everybody else.
Yeah.
Honestly, seriously.
For sure.
It's just dude, if you weren't the Liberty, the Sun, the Aces, and then most recently, we got to throw the Minnesota Lynx up in there, right? It's just like everybody else is just kind of blah. Now I feel like there is a more even playing field amongst all of the teams except for the fucking Mystics. I'm sorry, excuse my language. Except for the Mystics, I don't know what the hell you're doing, and it's so frustrating. Okay, I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna bring it back. But now we're talking about the dream. We're talking about the Sparks again. Like instead of us having 3 or 4 teams, we could legit have 7 or 8 like really great teams battling, and hell, that's almost more. What is that, like half the league?
Yeah.
I think it's great, and at a time where WNBA has just been, you're coming off a fantastic season, all of these moves, oh man, it's gonna pull some major dividends for the league, and I think I'm more excited for this season than I've ever been, this upcoming season, than I've ever been for the WNBA. Absolutely.
It's gonna be interesting. Just it's their first time doing free agency, so I know it's existed in other leagues forever, but like you said, you expect Brittany Griner to retire with Phoenix.
Yeah.
This is a league that traditionally, not necessarily they stay with the same team forever. There is trades and whatnot, but you'd get the same core group of people, and now we got to see how they mix it up and get along with their new players, and adjust those contracts. And I'm sure we'll see some trades and maybe some releases.
Yeah, I mean, and also, who knows? I think there's something to be said about this 3-on-3 Unrivaled League, which is coming up on its championship week really soon down there in Miami. A lot of players are getting to play with other players, play against other players. They're all down in there in Miami together, and there could be some bonds broken, and there could be some bonds dismantled. I just think that all of the moves, in addition to the new Unrivaled League, man, it's great.
Yeah,
it's great. I mean, everybody talked about LeBron and his interaction with Luka prior to the trade. I mean, these things mean something. It's not just rivals and enemies. If you're not on my team, then I'm not gonna like you. Like when these players interact with each other, when these players play with each other, when they're playing on these Olympic teams together and stuff like that, like chit chat starts. You'd be a fool to think somebody doesn't say, hey, you should really think about coming to play with the Atlanta Dream.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, these things happen. So, like I said, I mean, all the interaction, everything, it just makes for more growth, and we got some new teams coming this year. Yeah, we got some new franchises starting. It's just a really great time for the WNBA, and I'm just so happy for it, man.
Harry makes another good point.
Sure.
Also, remember that everyone just signed for 1 year because of next year's new CBA. So next year is going to be even crazier.
Yeah.
And next year is going to have 2 more expansion teams, I believe. Portland and Toronto.
I thought it was this year. They're not starting this year?
Well, this year has the Valkyries, and then next year will be Portland and someone
Valkyrie.
else. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, there we go. I knew that. I knew somebody was starting this year. And, talking about all these women athletes, there's one thing I forgot to mention that I love. That Nike's women's commercial for the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty awesome. Big shout out there. And that also featured Caitlin Clark and a lot of other athletes that we know and love. But yeah, man, big shout out to the WNBA. Big splash in the free agency, and you know how to get people salivating for the upcoming season. Totally.
Yep.
I am psyched. I am psyched. Let's talk about the NBA.
Something happened in the NBA recently?
Well, we touched on Luca. We touched on Anthony Davis. Ding dang, Anthony Davis is injured already. I
Right?
wanted to defend. I've been out there defending you, and you had me fighting for my life every day, Anthony. But it's okay. Um, who had the better first game? Let's take a look at those numbers. I know Anthony Davis had a pretty big double double in his first game with Dallas. I think it was like 26 points and over more than 10 boards. Let me.
Luca got 14 points,
Thank you.
five rebounds, 4 assists.
Huh. Huh. I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about those numbers? I don't even know what to say to that.
Um,
I mean, it is his first game in like I don't know what 60 days or some. He hasn't played since Christmas, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I will say even above the stats, the way he interacted with the team and the chemistry, it seemed like something was there. So I think he.
Thank you.
I, I think it's going to be a good fit. Because I will admit, like, when we were texting about it, when those trades went down, I was like, what the hell are the Lakers doing?
Yeah, I was too. I had a lot of expletives thrown out there when I heard the news. I think Janie even was like, "Stop cussing at me." I'm like, "I'm not cussing at you. I'm just cussing because I'm pissed." That shit wasn't that funny,
Yeah.
Jada, I know you're listening. I love you. I love you so much, Jada. But I want to talk about some of the other kind of trades that we really didn't get to touch on. Shockers for me. We did talk. We also talked about Jimmy Butler. Did we talk about Jimmy Butler?
We didn't.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and do that. Nobody was shocked about that. I don't think. Let me back that up. Nobody was shocked that he got traded. Were you shocked where he landed?
Yeah.
I was too. And for what they gave up to get him. I was kind of surprised that they let Wiggins go, Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
I felt like he put in a lot of good work with the Warriors. I mean, it wasn't like he was doing Klay Thompson numbers. I was kind of shocked with that one.
Yeah.
I
was kind of surprised Dennis Schrader was traded.
Yes. God. Yeah, man. I mean, and that particular trade, that was one of the ones that had a lot of moving pieces in it, right?
3 teams.
Yeah. So now, I mean, poor Dennis. I just feel like he's just been playing all over the country these past. I mean, and now you end up in Detroit. Christ Almighty, I'm gonna pray for that guy. Really shocked to see that. I'm also going to say that I was very surprised that the Kings, the Sacramento Kings, let go of De'Aaron Fox.
Where did he go?
De'Aaron Fox ended up with the I want to say San Antonio Spurs.
Okay.
I was really shocked about that because, I really, um, while I love it for the Spurs because you needed somebody there, in that position. No slight to Chris Paul, but you wanted somebody a little bit younger that can move with this young team, and I think he'll complement my man Stilts. What's his Wimby? I think he'll
Yeah.
complement him very well. But I really thought that De'Aaron Fox was their guy in Sacramento. I was really shocked with that, and also with this same trade. I mean, the Kings were. I was shocked that the Bulls let go of Zach LaVine and sent them to Sacramento.
Right?
I mean, this is just insane stuff going on all over the place. That was a pretty big one for me too. Um, a little closer to home. Uh, Another shocker to me. Kyle Kuzma to the Milwaukee Bucks. And then they let Chris Middleton, and I'm gonna pray for this brother too. Now he's with the Wizards. That was messed up to me, man. Oh my gosh! I mean, I know it's a business, but did you guys secretly hate Chris Middleton? Like, I was shocked with that one too.
Yeah, it seemed like Washington was. Yeah, I know they call it a fire sale when they like teams start
It was.
trading
It totally
everyone.
was. I mean, they just sent everybody all over the place.
I'm pretty sure if you went down to Capital One, you'd see like Mystic or Wizards execs on the street like trying to sell you like stuff from the office and shit. Because the way they were just selling everything, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's like a clearance going out of sale business sell.
Yeah. Yeah, like we're hanging on by the bottom rung here, you guys. We just, yeah, it's crazy. That one's crazy. Was there any other ones that you were kind of shocked or surprised to hear about? I'm trying to.
I think we hit all the big
I
ones.
think I hit all the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I missed anybody. Do we have any comments on the feed about the NBA trades?
About Fox, Harry says that they didn't want Fox to become Jimmy Butler, like Jimmy Butler in Miami. He forced his way out after the firing of Mike Brown.
Yeah, he was not. He was not a fan of that. I do know that.
I'm waiting to see Butler and Green get into it. So far, it's looking good for them, though.
Yeah, I've seen a few jokes about that on social media. I didn't know. Do they have like a beef or something? I didn't quite get that.
Well, I mean, I think some reputations are more fueling that.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Well, that
man,
gave me a chuckle.
I was kind of. I think that was probably the biggest shocker for me, even over Luca, because Jimmy has that reputation, of course, and he seemed like he found a really good thing in Miami, and then just, I don't know, the wind blew south instead of north, and he decided he was done. And
Wouldn't you have loved to be a fly on the wall of those talks? Because it's just like, what the hell happened down there?
I don't
It's
know.
just like, all of a sudden he was like, you know what? I don't like y'all no more, and I don't want to play. I mean,
But he was
that's how
throwing
I feel.
executives under the bus and everything. But he went
Yeah.
scorched earth.
Oh, yeah. DEFCON 3. DEFCON 3. So, very exciting week last week on the hardwood with basketball, and then we ended it with the Super Bowl. I mean, it was a great week in sports, all in all. We're starting to heat up in the college game. March Madness is right around the corner. Spring training. There's been a lot of moves in baseball as well. I don't know what the hell the Orioles are doing either. Like, it's just my teams. I just don't. know what the hell's going on anymore with these guys. But yeah, it's been one hell of a week, man. One
It,
hell of a week. One great escape from reality.
and then we get pitchers and catchers reporting soon, and on to baseball season.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Is there any real on wrestling or anything you want to put out there before we sign off for the evening?
Real on wrestling. The NXT brand of WWE, they have their Vengeance Day pay-per-view, I believe. It's actually in DC Saturday, so that'll be on Peacock if y'all want to check that out. It's like the young people getting ready to go up to the main roster. And you know what? Actually, there was one thing I remembered as you were talking about the commercial, the Super Bowl ad with the women in Nike, and it reminded me. I have one more hate on the Super Bowl.
What is it?
There were some decent ads, but that Mountain Dew Baja Blast commercial. Do you remember that one?
Oh, refresh my memory.
They're singing Baja to the tune of what the hell's the name of the song? Kiss from a Rose.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Was that
yeah,
CGI seal not the creepiest thing you've ever seen?
yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Yo, it scared my mom.
I'm
She didn't
sorry.
even recognize that it was Seal. I had to explain it. I was like, Mom, that's like Seal, like the guy that sings his song. She was like, oh my God, it's so horrible. So, yeah, I'm totally with you on that one. I hated that commercial as well. Yes. Absolutely. I think that's the perfect way to end the show. All right, you guys. You know how we end this show, Baltimore Spread Love, yo. Make sure you go a little handle, just a little bit extra this weekend after all. Can we get it in the voice? Again, Mark, what weekend is it?
It's the weekend of love. Spread love. I'm sure that creeped out so many people just now.
I'm Keisha on the other end of the line. My favorite slice of pizza, Mark. We are just about outside. Love you here. Smoochie Boochie.